Listen. Angie? Ati nange enkyanjije.
Nga bamuganda wange bwangambye.
Junior openings. Junior opening. Your skin likes you and they like you.
Does that banner affect you?
What? He gave you, for 180, he gave you the stand and the microphone.
Simon said you give me my catamalola. What it is green.
Which one? I don't know where it is. You want to do what with it?
I want to take the knife.
Is one of the reasons why we are having this Green Festival. Because everybody gets lost in the comfort of the chairs, the living room, the couch, the upstairs, the downstairs, and we inadvertently forget nature. So I say that today let's break away from tradition and we have a small press conference that is not in the comfort of your seats, coolers, I don't know what, and that water that you drink in one of those other refillables. This is something natural. Look at the trees, look at the grass, look at the flowers, look at the plants. Then slowly by slowly we start to understand what we mean when we say green. The Green Festival, a brief recap of it, started was a culmination of the efforts of Ugandan children in greening up their own country. We live in a country that someone so many years ago decided to call the Pearl of Africa. But much of what used to be the Pearl is no more. I think it is the third time around that I heard there were landslides in Bududa again. Now this time, I don't know whether you'll correct me. Are there any people that died? One. Good. If there were hundreds, you would have seen 50 companies rushing to give blankets and rice and I don't know what stuff like that. But simply because over the past 2 decades, Uganda has lost a lot of its green cover. So many forests being cut down. I've heard people talking about swamps and I don't know what, and all this land being taken up. So we thought to ourselves, if children who are behind you can take the mantle on their shoulders and they lead, and one by one, the 20 million children that we have in Uganda, if just one of them each can plant just one tree, it means that in such a short period we're going to have 20 million extra trees. That is 20 million plus green footprint within the country. Now what that does is that slowly by slowly we start to create an army of environmentally conscious Ugandans, because we do not have them. What we have today is Tenywa wrote a story, Tenywa what, the other one wrote the other, and then this one wrote the other article. it belongs to the other person. The responsibility is for the NFA, it is for NEMA, it is for who. It is not for the individual. It is not for me, the everyday person. Yet it is my children who are going to grow up living on concrete. There are schools today, or there are places, or there are homes that are completely concrete. You do not even have a speck of grass. Now, is that the generation of children and people that we really want to raise? Imagine if this is what we have today, what shall we have tomorrow, 10 years to come? So we created something called Uganda's Little Ones Go Green, which, like I've said, is just a simple drive to push every child in Uganda to plant and own at least one fruit tree, just one. So hopefully, if the NFA gives me a tree seedling like this one, and I give it to you and you give it to your child, then if you plant for them a mango tree, 3 days later, on their next birthday, you probably plant a mango tree, then an orange tree, then an avocado tree. So gradually what happens is that we're going to have so many trees springing up, but not just the trees, the consciousness in people's minds. One of our key objectives was to ensure that we kickstart a nationwide frenzy of, if it is our environment is our future is our responsibility. So it actually belongs to us. So we started that little culture and we created some green cards. I need a green card. And we started giving children green cards so they can put in a photo. When we grew up, we used to belong to the Scouts movement, wildlife, those things. So now children will belong to something. I belong. So parents are calling me asking that at the back of the magazine I see Toto that I can enter free if my child has a green card. Then they ask the question, what is a green card? Then I start to answer that the green card, you become part of this, you make sure your child plants a tree. So slowly by slowly you educate the parents, you educate the children, and we get an environmentally friendly Uganda where people realize that it is not about me, it is not about him, it's about us. These are the cards, and I'll make sure all of you get one of them. So you go and find a child that you know, put in a photo in there. It's not much. You don't even have to buy it at the moment. Just get it. So once you get this card and your child has a photo in it, they go plant a tree. When they plant a tree and it starts to grow, we'll give you a green certificate. So slowly by slowly, it's not because we want to give, but it is how do you get people who have not been in the mindset of conserving and preserving the environment to get interested in it. And the best way to do it is using the drive and ambition of these kids you see here. They're amazing. They get excited when they see the tree has one extra leaf, one extra bud, it's germinating. For me, that is the mindset behind this. Now, when we decided that we have been going to different schools, Kaboja, Naria, Kampala Quality, Chisule, St. Francis, and we planted trees with these children, and they have watched these trees grow and nurtured them. So we said, what do we do? So since we managed to do superstar events where children come and play and have fun in Kololo, we said, let's take it a notch higher. Let's turn these superstar events into green events. With the help of the National Council for Sport, for Children and the NFA, we put together our children in Kololo and say, when you come, we'll give you a tree seedling. Go home and plant it. So they come, they play, they have fun, they go home and plant. That's how we came up with the idea of a green festival. So that's why you see, if you see images, you see one of children playing and having fun. One is trees, the child watering a tree. That is every child with a tree seedling. That is the symbolism of the superstar and the little green hands element. Let's have fun, but let's have it while protecting the environment. Because if we do not, tomorrow we'll only be playing on concrete, not on the grass. That's why we always go to Kololo, because it still has a little bit of green that we can actually maintain. So the Green Festival that happened last year was the first time it happened in Africa. People haven't done it because we are still in that mindset of the environment belongs to the other people. So we did it last time, we had a beautiful crowds, we are doing it again this time, and we are adding a few sparks. We've spoken to Uganda Wildlife Education Center. We're going to bring a couple of zoo animals down. We're going to give children tree seedlings. Nature Uganda is going to come and educate us that Uganda has the best bird species in Africa, and show us what we can do if we want to go and watch birds and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like rocket science, but all that I'm going to do is going to ask on behalf of the kids, can you come? Come. That these little brilliant lives you see here need to grow in a very healthy money. So there is no health without proper nutrition. They need vitamins, they need proteins, they need shades, they need a healthy environment. So they need the rain, which give us some of the uses of trees. So tell them so they don't think. One of the uses of these children to get just one tree seedling, and I think we need to give them one. So Sam, let's say one tree seedling, one each. It means they can go and plant. So Mariela there is 4 years old. If she plants this mango tree today, it means by the time she's 10, her tree will be 6 years old. She will not be buying trees from Nakumat. You get the point? Or from the game. She'll actually be harvesting fruits from the trees that she actually planted. So for me, this is why we are going to do this Green Festival. Let's come and have fun. Let's play on the bouncing castles. Let's ride the horses. If we just want to play, we'll go to time to play in Chihuahua and play, or to Queen's Motel or whatever it is. But let's play with the cause. Let's just go and play, have fun, and walk home, get a tree, go and plant it. That is what we are trying to achieve and find. So basically, this is what we call little green hands. These children you see here, they are little, but their hands have actually gone green. And I told you the symbolism of coming to a place like Olive Garden. It is not all these other places you go and see. How many places do you go to, for those of you that go and have lunch and dinner and brunch, and find places laden with trees and the green and the grass? So that is why this press conference is here today. I want to go and have a beautiful coffee, nice, but feel that nice breeze, not of the AC. I come to a place like this. Don't you love this green? So if you do, that for me is the reason why we're doing the Green Festival. I don't have much to say, I'm not a politician, but at the end of the day, I remind you of 3 things, and I think I've mentioned it. The first one is a red Indian proverb that says we do not inherit this earth or the land from our parents. We simply borrow it from our children and grandchildren, because they are the ones who are going to be here when we are long gone. So for those of you who think my father left me 2 acres of land, it is not yours. It actually belongs to your children. The second one are words of a very wise man called Tabani Yasin. I think he's the LC5 chairman of Yumbe district. When he went to launch trees there, he told me, he thanked me 6 times, and he told me that wise old men plant trees whose shade they know they will never sit under. So all of us are here standing under these trees, but even if I asked the owner of Olive Garden that who planted these trees, I doubt they will tell you who. All of us stand. We have gone for a burial, we stand under a tree. We're outside the church, we stand under a tree. At home, in the village, we stand under a tree. But how many of you stop to think, who planted this tree? So the last one is a word from My Kid is a Superstar, Little Ones Go Green, which says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, because we are now standing under that shade of the tree that was planted 20 years ago. But the next best time is now, because when you plant that tree today, 20 years later, someone will be standing under that tree wondering who planted it, but enjoying the beauty of that shade. So for me, I say, let's come to the Green Festival, let's have fun, support these little children, these superstars in the element of going green. I must admit, there are 2-3 things that I will close this note on. This has not been possible without the support of so many people. First of all, the children, the parents, the schools. I have Chisule Primary School, I have Naria, I have Galaxy International, I have Kaboja, so many that I cannot name. The children you see here today are representing us from St. Francis, Kisule, and Naria. They are part of that army of so many green little ones that have come to say that the Green Festival is there, tree planting is happening, and we are behind it. But then there is people like the National Council for Children, and allow me, as I will sneak out, and to ask a gentleman to come and join me. His name is Mr. Martin Chiza. He's the Secretary General of the National Council for Children. Mr. Chiza, please come. When we started tree planting, we started off in our simple locality of Kampala. within reach. Not much sponsorship, no support. We can manage to run to Kampala Parents, Buddo, Chisule, St. Francis. Then Mr. Kiza here came and said the National Council for Children is the custodian for all the children in Uganda. Come and be a part of our efforts on the Day for African Child. He ended up taking us, went to Kamuli and planted trees with children living with HIV. We have been to Jinja, Iganga. We have been all over the place because of the National Council for Children. And I think so many years ago when we started and signed off, we agreed that we'll mutually support yourselves. Here, the press, you can attest to the few little things that have been said.
Thank you, Council for Children. Or as a government, there is an issue that we normally leave and take for granted: meaningful child participation. And meaningful child participation is a provision that is embedded in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. So when you see children getting involved really in national campaigns, like this one that My Kids is a Superstar, in collaboration with Children Go Green and National Council for Children, and you all members here, is that we have to ensure that we cover the whole country and the 112 districts. So this issue is aimed at ensuring that children meaningfully participate in matters that affect them. Because once upon a time you were a child, that's what we normally say, but we tend to put children aside and talk for them. But children are supposed to participate in issues, in national development, monitoring, participating in every program. So tree planting, especially fruit tree planting,